Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily, the first English news program in Poland. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. The struggle to remove the lingering influence of the previous communist elite from the Polish justice system is underway, but not without its hurdles. The judicial reform undertaken by the ruling Law and Justice Party has been met with resistance from various sources in legal circles as well as by the European Commission, which defends those in favor of the old order. The European Commission is working on a new scheme enabling it to freeze money earmarked for specific member states coming out of the EU structural and cohesion funds. The Commission has chosen this path despite going against what has been agreed on in the treaties of the EU. However, the European Parliament would have to approve the changes, and the Parliament's 5-year term is coming to an end in the upcoming spring. The next European Parliament will be completely different than the current one, which is leftist liberal, fixated on ideology, and anti-Polish. Naturally, the political environment in which Poland will operate will also change, and we are taking that into consideration. Members of the Polish liberal opposition believe the next European Parliament will be ideologically congruent with the one currently in place. The government is making a mistake if they are counting on a new political environment. I'm confident that there won't be a sharp turn to the populist right because the momentum that those forces have had is now disappearing. However, it seems unlikely that there will be no changes, as Eurosceptic parties have recently been winning elections and now rule in several member states such as Italy, Austria, and the Czech Republic. Grzegorz Długi, an MP of the Cookies 15 movement, argues that the European Court of Justice is not likely to protect Poland's sovereignty from Brussels, seeing that the European Commission has recently asked the court to freeze the Polish judicial reform. The values on which Europe and our civilization were built on are now in deep crisis. It's questionable whether the European Court of Justice is willing to protect the values that built our civilization. Miłosz Monastyrski from the Polish press agency argues that no change in attitude can be expected from the people currently in power in Brussels. There is no political will on the side of Brussels to end the dispute with Poland. In that camp, a disrespectful attitude toward Poland and all of Central Eastern Europe is dominating. In their eyes, they can treat us however they want. They consider us to not be a fully fledged democracies that need to learn how democracy works from their example. However, Monastyrski believes that the poor attitude in Brussels could be in the brink of change. We have to hope for change coming from the elections to the European Parliament. The trend in Europe is that the leftists are now losing influence. We will have to wait and see how much influence they will lose in the elections. We can cross our fingers that the people that will run the EU after the next elections will start dealing with actual problems that the Union is facing. The European elections will take place by the end of May next year. Henri Malos, former head of the European Economic and Social Committee, said to Poland Daily that the real reason why the European Commission is adopting the procedures against Poland is the technocratic drive to rule member states from Brussels. According to Malos, this is against the European treaties and therefore illegal.
Can you tell us when actually started this deterioration of the European Union? What was the point? From that, we can clearly say that it's going to this more centralized organization.
I think the point starts in the middle of 2000, 2005, 2006. And it's because the technocratic system with the enlargement with 24, 27, 28 member states has started to prevail under the respect of the member states. You know, I have a feeling that today the technocracy is used to listen just to one voice. Previously it was French-German voice, now it's mainly German voice, and the technocracy is going in one direction. And they just expect all the member states just to follow, specifically the so-called new member states.
We say in Poland that the justice or the judges are people who came from the former regime. Most of them have family ties or professional ties to the judges from the regime imposed here by the Soviet Union. And we just want to change it to the forms and procedures that are in Europe, and apparently Europe tells us, no, you cannot do it. Please keep those people in power. I mean, does it make any sense to you?
It doesn't make any sense. So I know what these people were able to do. They even killed persons. They even were murders or complices of murders. Of course, you have a right to change the system, and you have a right to follow the example of some other European countries, like France. And to punish you for that, I think it's a nonsense.
Poland's defense minister, Mariusz Błaszczak, has met with the NATO's military committee as military leaders from the alliance's 29 member stations held talks in Warsaw this weekend. NATO Military Committee is the assembly of Army Chiefs of Staffs appointed by the alliance's member countries. Seating occur 3 times a year, 2 at the headquarters in Brussels and 1 in the selected capital. During the opening ceremony, the Polish Minister of Defense, Mariusz Błaszczak, stressed that NATO is answering the challenges that lay ahead. Again, NATO is adopting to new challenges, aggressive policies of Russia, and large amounts of threats coming from its southern flank. It is good that the alliance adopted the 360-degree principle confirmed by the recent summits. It is important that all the member states should be satisfied with NATO actions that help everyone, obviously including the close collaboration with other organizations such as the European Union. We established that practical deterrence and defense must include not only reinforcements, but also forces being present on site. As a result of this, we see the possibility to enlarge the presence of our allies in NATO's eastern flank. That would grant us a new level of credibility to NATO's deterrence and defense mission. We are happy that the United States started works on the concept and feasibility of such presence in Poland. We believe that eventually the adopted solutions will not only contribute to the safety of this region, but also to the safety of the whole alliance by enforcing its political coherence and military efficiency. We are ready to serve as a host country. From the Polish perspective, the NATO meeting in Warsaw is an element celebrating the 100th anniversary of regaining independence and establishing General Staff of Polish Army in 1918. The tradition of the Polonaise dance is several hundred years old. The Polonaise evolved from chodzenie, or the walking dance, traditionally performed at the palaces and courts of Polish noble class. In the 19th century, this tradition became known across Europe. Now, with the 100th anniversary of Poland regaining its independence, the dance is returning to the street of Polish cities. Reported by our very own Marta Szwamowska. On the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Poland regaining its independence, anyone interested in learning the dance enriched by the history of the nation is invited to Theatre Square, located in the center of the capital. Professional supervisors helped everybody in learning the steps. It is not difficult. It's as if you were walking. And more mature. This is our tradition, and we should maintain our national dances. It is a fantastic initiative. I think we should have more opportunities of this kind. I performed in the folk dance team as well as my mother, so we are trying to pass this from generation to generation. I think it's worth it, and we should never forget this. This is in our hands, really. If you want to, you can join. All you need is a sense of rhythm. These professional dancers from a Promny team will be a great help to us, to anyone. Ladies will help gentlemen, and gentlemen will help ladies to do the dance. I think everyone will do great. Warsaw Polonaise was joined by dancing teams of several universities. The kind of Polonaise we perform on stage is demanding. You are required to know the steps and techniques. But today, we want to present the easier version for everyone. Polonaise is the oldest Polish dance that originated in the Polish countryside. It is the best idea ever. A centenary of independence is happening once in a lifetime, right? So being here and dancing with Warsawians matters to us a lot. People on the street watch dancers in awe. The event featured 4 symphonies from the New Polonaises, winner of the Sinfonia Varsovia Independence Polonaise contest. That's it for today. See you next time on Poland Daily. But stay tuned for the Poland Daily Weather Report.